Hello everyone, we are being reminded to be good to one another and to be fair. Let me explain.
Spent the last year chasing myself. Take me to a better place where love's something else. Though it's wrong, running high. Am I the only one left now? Aren't you tired of always being around? Like you're stuck everywhere. You keep it to yourself and
Hello
you're
everyone, it's Michelle Patterson here with Angel Souls, and this is the weekly angelic message for the week beginning June 11th, 2018. This is going to be the second time I am recording this, and you'll see why, because the first line here is I see fire. And while I was recording, there were fire engines going out, an ambulance going by, and that was fine. And I might even still add that clip. We'll see if it's worth it, but when I'm editing, I'll add that clip to the end of this video. But I just thought it was so interesting. I was already starting to talk about I see fire, and then the fire engines were going out. And so I stopped and I say a prayer every time I hear sirens for the people that are affected, you know, and for the rescue workers as well. I was also talking about all the volcanic eruptions and everybody whose lives have been lost. Some of the sad stories we've been hearing about the effects of depression. And I just want to start off by saying my love to all of you. And yeah, I mean, that's about, you know, all we can do at this point. My love to all of you, my prayers to each of you. So let's go back. The reason why I wanted to re-record this, I started to feel like I was getting pulled in too many different directions, and I wanted it to make sense. So the message is only as powerful as you understand it. So I just had to like stop a minute, collect, okay, what can you guys get more streamlined with what we're talking about here? And now we're going to do it again. Okay. So as I said, one of the first things I heard when I sat down for the auto write was I see fire. And I believe it's, I think her name, she or a band, I don't know, a Celtic woman. I think that is one of her songs or their songs if it's a band. And it's actually I See Fire. And when I sat down, I haven't listened to that song in a very long time, but it just popped into my head. And all I kept hearing was I see fire, I see fire. Now, this should come as no surprise. Guys, there's going to be more volcanoes. There's absolutely going to be earthquakes. Hurricanes are going to be a thing. I feel like it's more like September. Flooding, you name it. It's going to keep happening, okay? There's going to be more military activity, of course. As you guys know, I live in a very military town. I want to say there's been sort of a feeling here of, it's not expressed on the surface, okay? Everyone seems okay, but there's an underlying agitation as if people are getting focused. And I think people are so much more, empathetic or even prophetic than they will admit. So I am picking up that people are a little like on edge about whatever's to come. And again, living in a military town, that has an extra layer of meaning to it, I think, what's going on. I can also tell you, I live in a lovely apartment complex. I can finally say that now. The first one was not lovely, but this one is. But this one is not far from an Air Force base, and so we have a lot of Air Force people here. There are some Army people here as well. And the movement activity has been insane. Every single one of my neighbors around me has moved. Every single one of them. Okay, so is it unnerving? Yeah, I'm like, what do you all know that I don't? Like, where you going? Take me with you. What's happening? But, I think, I don't know if there's anything on the surface that people know of, but I do feel like there's this preparation kind of going on here, and we talk about that a little bit here. So because it says I see fire and then anger and tempers. Okay, so then we go into a whole other kind of message where it's about respecting one another. Yes, and so not trying to inflict your free will over another. Okay, so there's kind of two layers going on here. See why I had to re-record this? It was all over the place the first time. Okay, so it started out, I see fire, anger, and tempers. In a world of wills, one atop the other, definition of rights are redefined. We discover that in our fight for equality, we may have overcorrected. So there's this feeling here of it's good that we are opening up and we're starting to be more aware, but it's now starting to override someone else's free will, right? I'm trying to think of an example, but I don't have one popping up right now. But, where we're almost trying too hard. I'm trying to find an example that won't upset people. Well, the example I'm thinking of, there was this YouTuber who I'm not going to name, but I really loved watching this person initially. And then they had this like question and answer thing. And I started to notice, again, I'm going to be very vague on purpose here. I'm going to tiptoe around it a little bit. But I started to notice that when certain people wrote in and asked questions, this person was really nasty and diminishing. And these were fair questions. This person is out there, like, I'm here to educate the world about what it's like to be me. And this person does come to the table with some unique life experiences and who they are. And I think that's wonderful if you want to get on camera and you want to share who you are. But when people are asking very respectful questions and you're rolling your eyes and that's what this person was doing. I feel like that's kind of what we're talking about here. If and again, I understand and I want to acknowledge the sensitivity around certain things, but when someone cares enough to want to understand better, let's not diminish that. Does that make sense? Or if somebody cares enough, even if you think it's a stupid question, even if you're sick of answering it, how many times do you think since having started Angel Souls I've been asked, how do I get in touch with my angels? I mean, if I had a bad attitude about that, that wouldn't be very nice, right? So I think this is giving us another piece to being able to relate to one another, to be able to understand one another, and to not be, be discerning, but you don't need to have your guard up. You don't have to be so defensive about things, I think is kind of what we're getting at here. Okay, so take time to consider others. There need be no sacrifice in your wants, but respect of another is an easy consideration. World reform in the way your planet lesson plays out is not by quote unquote bullying. And when they do little quotes around that, it's our way of seeing it. It's like the human word bullying in your views. Everyone is right and everyone is wrong, right? We're both light and shadow, right? The only time that really becomes a problem is when you try to get into too much duality, right? We talk about that all the time too. I'm too much in the light. Oh, you can't be too much in the light. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. You end up going so far into the light that you almost start to have, I'm going to say it, you almost start to have dark traits. People who consider themselves too much in the light now they're not considering other people because they're not even connected to them. Oh, that's not true. My heart space is open. I'm in my wisdom. I'm missing the part of me that also makes me human. Therefore, you're separating yourself, right? And at least the people I've witnessed who've really tried to only live in the light, they then aren't always very well prepared when life hits them with something. And they're shocked and they want to find the solution with all the training that they've had and the things, these sort of trained responses, right? So it can get you kind of to a point where you're not considering others, where you might even think that you're above other people because you're wiser. As I've always said, the moment you come into that way of thinking, you're in your ego. Yes? So you end up being maybe missing the mark. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I try to live a balanced life. And listen, I'm not trying to fool anybody. I know that I'm going to make mistakes. I know I'm going to stub my toe and throw out a curse word. I know this is going to happen, right? So I'm never and never have been interested in sitting here and trying to present myself as perfect or, whatever. But as always, when darkness is tempered by the light, then, one kind of gets sort of strengthened by it and the other one is muted. So neither one is an extreme. Neither one is off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not polarized anymore. It's perfectly balanced. And that's where real strength can come from. And I think that is a big part of the human experiment. Okay. So make sure you're not, jumping off the chart there and, not being a part of the experiment. So anyway, that was a little bit of a tangent. But as we have said, you see in one, what you see in one is also in you. That's exactly what I was talking about. So I meant to say judgment too. If people start to think that they're above it all or whatever, there's an air of judgment, right? And, especially if you hear me say this all the time, if you've ever had anybody say, oh my God, you're so negative. And it's because you're like, I have something going on in my life and I'm a little scared. You're being honest and you're being human and somebody tells you to get over it or somebody tells you you're being negative. Nope, nope, nope. What they see in you is also in them and vice versa. All right. And it is of duality, what you call, and we're quoting again, good or bad. Those are human words. Consideration, compassion, and kindness make room for all. Okay. So I feel like we have some hard lessons coming up around this. And I can sit here and try to talk about it in a message and try to get us all prepared, but I don't know that we will be. I don't know that we necessarily have the capacity to fully understand that till we're going through it. But you can think of this in terms of, when there's like a disaster going on or, God forbid, some sort of tragedy, that's when people really do pull together. That's where neighbors don't really care that you don't know each other very well. It doesn't matter. There's something deeper that's connecting. And it's, knowing that life is precious. It's knowing that, we should be compassionate and caring for one another. And that means jumping in and helping wherever we can. All right. Keeping the whole world in our prayers and really opening up that heart space, letting that compassionate light come on out. All right. I can go on and on about this, but I'm going to spare you and we're going to get on to the cards. All right. As always, you guys know what decks I use. All that information is down below. I did check on my readings. Again, I do have 20 days to get you your personal reading. That gives me a little cushion in case, again, my computer crashes. God forbid. It better not. I will freak out if it does. No, I won't. But wait, yes, I will. I'll probably just lay down and be like, forget it. I'm done. I can't do this again. But I give myself that time in case something comes up. I am human. I'm the only one doing the readings. I don't have a staff that does the readings for you. So, if I get sick or whatever. But tomorrow for the schedule, I have the earliest one that I have to take care of would be waiting day 13. Okay. So after I get through tomorrow's schedule of readings, I think if I calculated correctly, I think by Monday, I'd be doing readings that have only waited for 7 days. So if you want a reading, do it now. Okay. Sometimes is a good time in general to get a reading. Obviously anytime is a good time to get a reading, but this would be a good time because I have a little extra time to take care of it. Okay. So go to my website, angelsouls444.com, the services page. It couldn't be easier. Just go on in. Just, I do erase your submission form after I send it to you, and it will be imperative that you all know to download and save your personal reading or any digital content that you get from me. Make sure you save it to your computer because I now by law can't really hang on to it. All right, so I'll hang on to those readings maybe for 2 weeks, but then it's got to go because it has your personal story involved there. Okay, so Patreon, always very much appreciated. Gumroad is still there, guys. I got a ton of courses over there. Get on over, see what you want to do with that. And hopefully I will get the workshop series recorded here soon. I did record them last week, but I went back and looked at them. I'm like, I don't feel like we went deep enough. Let me re-record those. So that's what we're doing. Okay. Anyway, there's all the business end of things. let's get to the cards. First card up, success orpiment. I want to let you know that people who get impatient and say, oh my God, quit talking so much. Oh my God, just get to the cards. Your impatience is not going to lead you to your success. And I mean that. And it's not about, oh, you just don't like what I said. No, it has to do with energy. Anytime you get into a desperate, pushy energy, you push what you want right out of your life. So just be aware of that. You know, you be who you are. If you want to be impatient, that's cool. But I just want to lay that out there. So if you do, in any area of your life, start getting pushy, demanding, impatient, critical, you're only harming yourself. So careful. And then the cards wouldn't even apply to you anyway. So, but anyway, anybody else who's been hanging in there and you're like, I get why this is being said. I'm hearing it. I'm taking it in. I'm making note. This is your week. All right. So this could be a huge, surprising event. As always, I so appreciate the beautiful astrologers out there who come in and they leave comments like, hey, Michelle, this and this, so this is going on. Thank you guys. I just wanted to, give my gratitude there. But there might be something, who knows, there might be something astrologically happening that I'm not aware of, okay? But, oh, and it matches my nails, sort of, kind of. Not really, but sort of. Check it out. This is orange, this card, okay? So, and my nails are orange. So this is sacral chakra. This is creating what you want. And isn't that interesting? As soon as I did that, I immediately felt like this isn't for everybody. And again, those people who are in that pushy energy, it's all about manifesting this week. It's about bringing in some stuff that you want, but also giving the universe a little room to work with you and to help you out, right? So not getting, how do I want to say this? Don't get hung up on the outcome. That's always a thing. But this success, I want to sit with this because this could be, this could be like a real thing that really, if it's money, if you need money, this could be like money coming on in. It could be a brand new work path. You know what I'm saying? Some great ideas. It's a lot. I just want to use the word inspiration. A lot of inspiration. And stuff that you felt went unnoticed, some hard work that maybe you feel nobody ever, ever looked at, you might suddenly see some reward. Now, this does not apply to people who go through life doing things just so people will pay attention to them. This does not apply to people who do things just as an ego pursuit. So if you are somebody who you're very trapped in your ego energy and you think, I deserve better, I deserve to be, and you haven't really done the work, this isn't for you. You're going to have to do the work because everyone has to do the work, okay? So this is not a week where things are just handed to you if you've not done anything to deserve it. Does that make sense? Especially because this, oh boy, if you have ever stepped on someone's back, if you've done something unscrupulous, oh God, this could be your success being taken away from you. But it's okay. It's going to only be temporary, okay? It's meant to kick you in the pants a little bit, okay? So if some of you get that this week, or I feel like someone's going to get rejected. I feel like someone has been on their high horse, maybe in their company, or maybe you thought you deserved a promotion and then you discover you don't get the promotion. And you might discover too, if you say, well, it might be a very humbling experience. And if you say, well, why didn't I get it? You have a bad attitude and you think you're better than everybody and nobody likes that. Nobody wants to work with you. I'm sure a boss will have a much more diplomatic way of putting it, but careful because this energy could dump you over. Does that make sense? And it can feel very, very scary at first. But then you realize you didn't have that far to fall. You learn your lesson. You pick yourself back up and you move on. Okay. Remember, it kind of goes in with that auto right. Be fair of others. This is not, oh gosh, I got to say this. This is not the week to get into gossip. Don't ever do that. Okay. As somebody who's been gossiped about in my last corporation, they had, oh God, to this day, they think they know me and they know nothing about me. It was nothing but rumors that went around and it actually destroyed my career. And that was one of those things because people gave in to that energy. My success, it's not like I thought it's not like I really thought I was better than everybody else. As a matter of fact, my self-esteem was very, very low. But it dumped me over and I had to reinvent myself and I had to get more in alignment with what my true path was. So it can have that kind of effect, I guess, as well. But either way, Even if you're of that category of that example I just gave, where you feel like I'm in a workplace where everyone's gossiping about me and this is not true. I did not do this. I did not do that. Your success might come after getting through that. All right. But be careful. This isn't ha ha ha, I'm going to show you. That's ego and you will fail. Okay. This is like, all right, I hear you, universe. I'm going to start getting in touch with what I really want and creating something better for myself. It's more in alignment with who I am. Okay. Or sorry, I have my cards laying down kind of low. The next card, aquamarine communication. So again, this is your team is getting in touch with you this week. It's letting you know, vroom, vroom, Mr. Motorcycle. Okay. Did that pick up on the microphone? I have no idea. It was really loud here. Anyway, your team is getting in touch with you and they're helping you see what will really make you happy. Just go be happy. Okay? If you're around people who are friends or you're calling them friends, but they're not really friends. They don't really care about you. They wouldn't be there for you. Maybe you've even convinced yourself, no. They would be great friends. They would totally be there for me. You're going to see this week that your team is showing you, okay, where you need to sort of cut the fat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that person's not a good friend. You're going to see this week that person's not a good friend, and you're going to have to get them out of your life. You're going to have to move on. But they're also saying right now it's not enough for you to just move on. You have to really examine what's the pattern behind that, right? So if you consistently draw people into your world who take advantage of you, is that about you not setting boundaries? Do you feel like you need to save everybody? Do you feel like you're only worth anything when you're bending over backwards for other people? You know, it's that kind of feeling. But this is a beautiful card. These two cards together, if you're in a good energy, this is your week. This is your week. This is like amazing miracles coming in. But there's that other side of the message though too. This could be a week where people have to become suddenly very aware of the things that they've been doing, that they've been engaging in, that's not working. So look for your team to be sending you a lot of messages. This isn't so, how do I say this? Because they're giving me another message here. Some people take angelic communication, let's say, and treat it like it's child's play. Okay. And I get that because the energy of angels, very loving, very gentle, it can help you remember your innocence, and there might be a want to have childlike experience, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's very honoring for various stages of your childhood, or whatever stage in your life that you needed some healing. You can always kind of revert back to that, but it's not child's play. Do angels communicate to you through signs? Yep. Should you only be looking for those signs? Nope. That's just to get your feet wet. Okay. I want to make that very, very clear. Pretty soon, and that's why I talk about angelic signs, because a lot of my audience, I'm guessing, but the feeling I have is probably a good 80% of my audience are people who don't maybe practice esoteric arts themselves, or maybe they don't know that much about angels. I have a lot of people coming who are kind of just now starting to awaken. And so they are getting a lot of signs. Now, do I get number signs when I'm about to go through another spiritual growth? Yes. But eventually, you're so in tune. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I'm so evolved from, it's not that. But you get so used to it that you don't need those overt signs coming at you. Does that make sense? So it's just a feeling. Now, if you do get too emotionally attached to an outcome, it happens to everybody. When I say don't get attached to outcome, it's more of a reminder. Certainly don't beat yourself up if you start to fall into that energy. It's cool. But, when I feel like, okay, I've slipped out of the channel a little bit. I've slipped out of being connected because I'm not feeling well, or I'm feeling sad, or whatever the case may be, right? They will then pop in an 1111, and that's a sign to me to get prepared. Okay, or if they really need to get my attention, they'll put things in my path and it'll make me smile and go, okay, I'm back. But most of the time, I just kind of feel it and I know, right? I feel it and I know. Depends on who you are. Not everybody is claircognizant. Not everybody has that clairsentient kind of thing going on. Maybe for you, it's seeing something and knowing. So when we talk about, the reason why we're going into this in such depth, first of all, this is a nice teachable moment, right? Absolutely, I think. It's a good time to talk about these things. It's a good time to talk about how your team communicates to you. This would also be a message to people to not, they're saying, don't brag. Don't brag. My team talks to me this way. I know what my message is. Oh, that's cool, but careful with that. You know, sometimes the want to talk about those things is just a need for validation or to be reminded that you're loved. And I want to send that message out that you never need to doubt that you're loved. You always are. You're always loved by God. You are always loved by the angels, your spiritual team. You're always loved by me. Even if you're a stinker, okay? You are always loved by me, all right? So, you know, we can even do, you know, leave your feedback. If you guys want me to go deep, I can start doing courses on angelic communication. I don't want to do one on mediumship. Why? Because I'm going to get a bunch of people who are not ready for mediumship, who can't handle it, who are going to be opening up their energies to a bunch of things that, no. More on that later, maybe, okay? But as far as understanding and getting your energy ready, okay, we can definitely, you know, discuss that a little bit if you're interested. You know, I don't want to make courses that nobody's interested in, okay? Anyway, let's go on to it. Fluorite learning. I was just saying, you know, let's take a minute here to talk about communication a little bit and what that actually means. And fluorite is a very I feel like it's a very abundant kind of crystal as well. I love fluorite. I have it all over the place. This card is green, but fluorite can have like purple hues and what have you. So this is a week, it can be for some of you, a week of gentle learning, okay? What the heck is gentle learning? Well, if you're open and receptive and you're not bullheaded and you're not saying, no, I'm right and that's it, well, you'll be good, okay? You can have a lot of success, a lot of spiritual growth this week. That's definitely going to be happening. And you're learning how your team specifically communicates with you, okay? I'm getting this feeling like it's time for us to shift past this. Now, if you're not ready to shift past angelic symbols, you know, I do have a video up that's, I think it has like 250,000 views on it or something, angel numbers. So I just kind of quickly went through all the angel numbers, and it's been really interesting watching all the comments come in about that. That again is just for people who you're just getting started, okay? We don't need to constantly stay in that space. If you're somebody who's like, no, Michelle, that's how my angels still communicate with me. Cool. I mean, no problem on that. But I just noticed there are a lot of YouTubers that are, they really hang on to the 5 ways that you know your angels are getting a hold of you. 5 ways that you know that you're spiritually assisted. 5 ways. You know what that is? That's a YouTube. Did I yell on my microphone? Sorry. Sorry if I did. But YouTuber tip, anytime you put a list, like 5 ways, 10 ways, it psychologically catches someone's attention. They get more views. Is that a bad thing? No. Actually, I should probably do it more. But yeah, I don't want people to get hung in there and they think that that's the only way that the angels are getting in touch with them. Angels are with you all the time, and they are guiding you all the time. If you feel, and they're telling me to offer this, they're very chatty today. I love it. It's going to be a really stinking long video, but there you go. They're saying that they're always with you. And, you know, if you're feeling in kind of a lower space one day, for example, and maybe it's a little hard for you to perceive what your angels are trying to tell you, you have your spirit guides that are, you know, higher level 4th dimensional beings that are a little bit closer to your reality, okay? Some of them have already been human at one point, so they understand what that is. And you can talk to them, you know. And they're saying there's steps there, talking to your, or maybe if you have your loved ones around you, okay, talk to them. Don't take their advice, okay? Loved ones on the other side, they don't know that much more than what they knew when they were in here. Love them. Love you, Aunt Betty. Thank you for the pie recipe. I say that all the time. But I'm going to just use this as a warm-up. Okay, now that sounds bad. Now it sounds like we're using Aunt Betty on the other side. But, get kind of, let your energy kind of up and up and up, okay? And then, you can talk to your angels. But they're always around. So you don't need to do too much. You don't need to keep looking just for the number 1111 to think that your angels are talking to you. Okay, here we go. Stibnite, conflict. So what this is, 2 layers of meaning. This could be people who this week is very tough for them because they've been in their ego. It's not a punishment. It's just to get you aware. I think for other people, though, and kind of what I felt when it first came up, was that all of these things that you need to be made aware of, it's time for you to let it go. You're ready to let it go, but it's got to come up to the surface first. So you might have a moment of, why did I say that? What was the context of that moment? Do you understand? And maybe you're not, maybe what you said taken out of context sounds really bad, right? But within the moment, understanding all the circumstances, it's just a very, very human moment. But you might be very, very conflicted because we're being asked to stretch beyond, not abandoning the childlike nature and approach to communicating with your angels, but you might be very conflicted in not wanting to let go of the old way, right? And they're talking very much about spiritual practices. You don't want to let go of, what you were originally taught, because a lot of people get very attached to their original teacher. And so, not that that's bad. It's not necessarily bad, but they're asking us to come on into a little bit more know-how, right? So we're learning how to do this, and you might feel conflicted. You might feel like, well, I feel like it's this, but no. I was taught by a really great teacher a long time ago that it's not that it's this. And I'm afraid to let that go. Does that make sense? So you might be conflicted in how to even approach your communication. This could be in 3D reality as well. You know what I'm saying? But really, the feeling I'm getting is that a lot of this is just coming up to the surface so that it can be cleared away. Okay, so let's get some clarification with the color card here. They're saying too that you can feel conflicted because you as an individual, maybe you're enjoying a very nice time in your life, and yet there's so much going on for other people that's just horrific. And I would even add in the word guilt with that card. There could be some sense of guilt going on. All right, but here we go. We have red, root chakra. Free yourself from pain. The number is 2. 2 is the number of balance. All right, so here you go, being at 1. And that balance is really what we've been talking about for forever, right? So balancing who you are physically with your spirituality, embracing the light and the shadow, and understanding that these are both, I'm sorry, I did a lot of glare on that card. Okay, and really embracing all those aspects of yourself. But it's interesting that we were just talking about the conflict card, and they're telling me that people avoid conflict a lot, and I'm with you. It's not fun. It's not fun to argue with people. It's not fun to have to stand your ground. And we were talking about that in the auto write. Start having consideration for others. Yes? So it's not like you necessarily have to back down from conflict if it occurs, like in your day-to-day life, but maybe diffuse it. Diffuse it. Now, as I even say diffuse it, people who are in their ego, they're going to be like, I'm prepared. I know you're upset right now, but I'm going to take my power and I'm going to diffuse this whole situation. And I'm a healer, so I'm going to heal everything. Okay, cool. Thanks for the offering. But right now I just want to be mad. I just need 5 more seconds to be mad. And I need someone to not dismiss my pain. All right. So this card does say free yourself from pain, but in order to free yourself from the pain, you have to acknowledge it. You can't pretend like it's not there. It's just going to pop up again. Right? So this is freeing yourself from pain by looking at what comes up to the surface. What are those hard truths? What are those hard truths about you? Okay? You might also still be in a blaming kind of sense where you might go, well, I feel conflict because I allow that person into my life and it's all their fault that I feel the way I do. It is never anybody else's fault for how you feel. I know. How you react to things, that's your business. Okay? Now, you may not agree with what somebody is doing, but everybody comes into our lives to teach us something. You guys know very, very well by now. I had a friend who I loved and adored. Absolutely loved and adored. And then I realized it was all false. And it would have been, she had been taking advantage of me. She had been trying to kind of destroy angel souls behind my back. She was stealing business ideas, taking advantage, the whole bit. And, trying to run me so that she felt more powerful, just the whole thing. And it would have been very, very easy to be angry with her, and I was for a while. I'm not angry anymore. I think that is one of the most beautiful things that has ever happened to me, because that soul, as much as she ticked me off and really tried me, she was one of the most beautiful gifts that has ever occurred in my life, because she broke me out of a decades-long prison of codependency and not even knowing what that was, and bringing awareness to abuse that I had gotten so used to since I can remember. And it unlocked a lot of things that I was very conflicted about. Okay? Yeah, but that's what feels normal. Yes, but this is what your new normal needs to be. Yeah, but no, I've always hung out with people like that. Yeah, and they always broke your heart. They always let you down. Okay? It's time for something new. It's time to open your heart up to a different kind of friendship, romantic partner. Just be happy. Okay? Maybe it's time to open yourself up to a new way of making money for yourself and creating your stability. Maybe it's time to live somewhere else. Now, does that mean be impulsive? No. But we're truly, as trite as this might sound, I'm going to say it anyway, we're truly given gifts all the time. And when you feel fear, that's a gift. That's showing you something. Well, it's a teachable moment. You're learning. And you're exactly on your path, and you're doing exactly what you came here to do, which was to experience duality, to come in with utter human amnesia and try to find your way back to source, back to who you really are, and back to truth. Okay? We're going to leave it there. I'm sending you so much love, and take care. More present, more aware. I don't know if that's picking up. That's a fire engine. And I know that because I have a firehouse right behind me. So that's interesting. Thank you to all the firefighters out there. My love to you. Thank you to every rescue worker that's out there trying to help everybody. My love to everybody who's being affected. My God, the volcano eruptions. Yeah, we don't want to go into that, but a lot of love to all of you. Okay, my heart is with you. There it is. Do you guys hear it? Now, normally I'd be like, oh, shoot, let me edit that out. But no, we're talking about fire, and those are fire engines. Okay. And ambulance is going, so prayers for everybody involved with that. Hopefully they are okay.